start speaking. So good morning guys. Welcome to the class. So in the previous sessions, we covered one design problem. Okay, and in that problem, we picked up a section. Okay, and later on we checked the capacity of that section. That is the moment capacity. So the moment capacity formula which we use depends on two conditions. That is whether d by tw is less than equal to 67 epsilon, not whether, and so the section should be subjected to low shear. So only under these two conditions we can make use of the formula, this formula. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, only in case of low shear, we can make use of this formula. So if it is a high shear, so we have to use a different set of formulas. Okay, and when we calculated MD, because our case turned out to be the case of low shear, so the moment capacity of the section was 148.12. Of course, that should be less than this 156.44. So the moment carrying capacity of this section is 148.12. So if we go to the next problem, so in this case, just deliberately I have increased the value of shear force. The section is the same problem, whatever problem we discussed in the previous sessions, I have taken the same problem, same section, everything. Okay, except the shear value. I have increased the shear value and I have made it as high shear. Once a section is subjected to high shear, that is going to have an effect on the moment carrying capacity of this section. Okay. So in this problem, what I'm going to show you is what is the moment capacity of the same ISB 300 section when it is subjected to high shear. Okay, so that's what I have written here. This example is considered just to show that how the bending moment capacity of this section gets reduced due to high shear. So what is the Vmax value? That is the maximum shear force due to the external load. So in the previous example, we had a different value, lower value. In this case, I have simply taken Vmax as 225 kilonewton. That is an imaginary value just to create the case of high shear I have taken. Okay, when it comes to check for bending moment capacity of this section of IS MB 300, these are the values we picked up from the code book under page number 138 and 139 under annexure H. So again, this is the design shear capacity of this section, VD value, that is 295.24 kilonewton. Then we don't know whether we have to make use of the equation MD equal to beta B ZP Fy divided by gamma MO, or else a different formula by taking into account the high shear value. First, we have to check it. So when we calculated VD value 295.24, again, this is the same value from the previous example. So multiply that VD value by 0.6. So that value was 177.14 kilonewton. So compare that value with Vmax, that is the maximum shear force due to the external load. Here I have imagined that value to be 225 kilonewton. So in this case, 225 kilonewton, that is the maximum shear force due to the external design load, is greater than 0.6 VD, where VD is the design capacity of the section end shear. So this is a case of high shear. whenever Vmax is greater than 177.14, or in other words, when 0.6 Vd is less than Vmax value, then the section is subjected to high shear. So whenever we say high shear, the shear will have an effect on the bending moment capacity of the section. Okay. So if you remember in the previous case, which I discussed just now, MD equal to 148 point something kilonewton meter. That is the moment capacity of the section which we calculated for low shear case. So how did we calculate? Go to the table, go to page number 53, go to 8.2.1.2 on page number 53 of the code book, first column. So MD equal to beta BZP Fy divided by gamma MO. Okay. So because this is the case of a high shear, so we have to use a different set of formulas to find out the moment capacity of the section. So please open page number 53 of the code book. Please open it. I hope you are on that page. First column on page 53 of the code book. Go to the end. So 8.2.1.3 says when the design shear force V. So in the problem, we have called that value as Vmax. Exceeds 0.6 Vd, that's what it is. 225 kilonewton is greater than 177.14, where Vd is the design shear strength of the cross section. The design bending moment strength, MD, shall be taken as MD equal to MdV. So MdV is the design bending strength of the section under high shear. So find out what is MdV and substitute in this equation to get final MD. Is it clear to you? So if it is the case of high shear, so MdV says, look at the code book, design bending strength under high shear as defined in 9.2 of the code. So go to 9.2 of the code. That is on page 70. Please go there. So go to 6.9, by the way. Go to 6.9. Under section 9, in the second column, almost at the end, it says combined shear and bending. So shear we are considering because it is a case of high shear. So under 9.2 combined shear and bending, if you go under 9.2.1 and read it, within the brackets it says factored value of applied shear force is less than equal to 60% of the shear strength. Then it is a case of low shear. Okay. Again, if you go to page number 70, under 9.2.2, when the factored value of the applied shear force, that is Vmax value, is high, that exceeds the limit specified in 9.2.1, that is 0.6 Vd. The factored moment of the section should be less than the moment capacity of the section under higher shear force, calculated as given below. Okay, that's what the code says. So if it is a case of high shear, we have to use a different set of formulas. So again on page 70, after the first paragraph of 5 lines, it says plastic or compact section under A. If you go a little below it, B, semi-compact section. So ours is a plastic section. The ISMB 300 we have selected is a plastic section because we checked it in the previous section. So if it's a plastic section or a compact section, the formula we need to make use of to find out MdV value is MD minus of beta within brackets MD minus MFD, and that should be less than 1.2 ZEFY divided by gamma M. That means in case of high shear, we are using a different set of formulas. So find out what is MDV. So this is the formula I got from the code book. Okay, and find out each of the items. Here, what is MD value? MD value is the design bending moment capacity of the section. What is that value? That is same as this. After calculation, we got that value equal to 148.12 if you remember. Again, this value is calculated. So in this equation, MD is known now. And what is beta value? So beta value, we have to make use of this formula. Again, where is that formula given? Again, on page 70. Okay, on page 70, first column, if you go under plastic or compact section, find out beta that is equal to 2V divided by Vt minus 1 whole square. So V is nothing but the maximum shear force or the design shear force, which is V max, that is 225 kilonewton. And what is Vd? That is the design shear strength of the column section, which we calculated, okay, using section 8.4.1 on page 59. Okay, so Vd is already calculated. Substitute these two values in the equation to find out what is beta. We got the value of beta equal to 0.2748. So again, going back to this equation, MD is known, okay, that is 148.12. Beta is calculated. So the other thing we need to know is MFD. What is MFD? So for MFD, that says, again, area of flange multiplied by Fy divided by gamma MO. That is, we must consider the flange moment capacity here. So that is calculated by multiplying the flange area multiplied by the lever arm. Okay, so what is the flange area? That is force in the flange, I mean. Width of the flange multiplied by the thickness of the flange. This is the width of the flange and this is the thickness of the flange. Okay, that will give you the flange area multiplied by the design shear stress will give you the compression force or tensile force. Magnitude wise, they are one and the same. Multiplied by the lever arm. Lever arm is nothing but the distance from the centroid of this point, of this area, to the centroid of the area below. What is that? That distance is total depth minus half the thickness of the flange at the bottom and half the thickness of the flange at the top. That is total depth minus of TF. So what is the total depth? H, okay, minus of TF. So this is the compressive force in the flange area multiplied by the lever arm will give you the moment of resistance MFD, that is by the flange. So we got this value equal to something, that is 113.47. So by substituting all the values in this equation, which is given in the code book on page number 70, we get MDV equal to 138.64. Okay, so compare this with the moment, design moment we got due to the design load coming on the beam. I picked this value from the previous example, 115.43 kilonewton. So 138.60 kilonewton is the bending capacity of the section due to the presence of high shear. Of course, that is greater than the maximum bending moment or the design bending moment of 115.43, which is caused due to the design load coming on the beam. Okay, hence the section is safe. So here what I am trying to show is, when we consider the case of low shear, MD value was 148.12 kilonewton meter. Okay, so when we consider the case of high shear, look at the moment carrying capacity of this section, 138.60 kilonewton. That means the value moment carrying capacity, okay, our moment capacity of this section has reduced from 148.12 to 138.60 kilonewton meter. Okay, guys. So this should be kilonewton meter. Please change the unit. Hence, the section is safe. Again, I repeat, the purpose of doing this problem is to show you how the moment capacity of the section reduces due to the presence of high shear. That is the main aim. So we'll go with the next problem. Okay. So the next problem is like this: a roof of a hall measuring 6 meter by 13.7 meter consists of 120 mm thick RC slab supported on steel I section, spaced at 3.5 meters center to center. The hall is having wall of 30 centimeter thickness all around. The finishing load on the roof is 1 kilonewton per meter square and live load is 2 kilonewton per meter square. Design the steel beam and apply all necessary checks on design. So again, this is a typical design. So when we solved the previous problem, the first problem, okay, the UDL was given. What was the load? That was the factored uniformly distributed load. 6 meter span, uniformly distributed load of 25 kilonewton per meter. We had to find out what was the design bending moment. But in this case, we need to calculate the load first. The load is not given, but all the details of the hall are given. So there is a hall measuring 6 meter by 13.7 meter. Okay, and that is the inside dimension. And the wall thickness is 30 centimeter. And the spacing of the I section is 3.5 meters center to center. So if you look at this figure, see, this is a hall, and the length of the hall, which is 13.7 meter, is running like this. I have shown continuity line, continuity arrow. Okay, and we are running the beams in the direction perpendicular to the length. So what is the dimension of internal dimension of the hall? That is 6 meter. And this is the wall thickness, which is 30 centimeter or 300 millimeter. Okay, this is 30 centimeter, this is 6 meter internal dimension. And what is the spacing of the beams? So we are running one beam here, another beam here, another beam here at a spacing of 3.5 meters. That is 3.5 meter center to center. So we have to design this beam. Okay. So what is the thickness of this slab sitting on these beams? The thickness of this slab sitting on these beams is 120 mm thick. Okay. And if I consider one of the beams, say this beam as shown, what is the area which is contributing load to that particular beam? For that, what we do is, because the spacing is 3.5 meter on this side and 3.5 meter on this side, take half of it on this side, another half of it on this side. Okay, total width is 3.5 meter. So this is the area which is applying load on this beam. That is a tributary area. Okay. Find out what it is. So going with different steps of the design. So calculation of design load and maximum bending moment. Again, as I said, maximum bending moment are factored. Load was given in the previous problem. We simply had to find out what was the design bending moment or maximum bending moment by using the formula WL square by 8. Here we have to design or calculation the load coming on the beam. Then next, afterwards, once that is done, we need to find out what is the required plastic section modulus. Okay, that's what we did in the previous problem as well. Then afterwards, select a section from the street table or from the code book, Annexure H on page number 138 and 139. Once the section is selected, so we are going to write down the section properties and section classification. We are going to write down the section properties just to refer the values in future calculations within the problem. And section classification, we are going to check whether the selected section is plastic, compact or semi-compact. That's what we do under section classification. And then go for check for shear and check for bending moment. As I said, only in case of laterally supported beams. So we are going to check for shear first before checking for bending moment. So we are going to check for shear because we are going to make use of that shear value under bending moment heading to check whether the section is subjected to high shear or low shear. Okay. Next, check for deflection, check for web buckling, and check for web crippling. These are the steps we are going to go through. So, all these steps, that is, these steps are the same. Only this part we are doing additional. Okay. Here, if you look, step number 4, I have drawn some scratching lines. Thus, within that, it says a revision of the section requirement by including self-weight of the beam. Here, I have not done the revision of the section, the revision of the design, because to start with, I have assumed the self-weight of the beam. So, you will see soon what it is. So, again, here the beam is assumed as laterally supported beam. Let us come to this. Calculation of design load and maximum bending moment. First of all, what is the effective span? So in RCC, effective span, you always say, center to center distance or one clear distance plus one effective depth, whichever is smaller. That is the way you are going to take effective span in case of RCC beams. So here, as per the codal recommendation of 8.1.2, so distance between the centers of the support is the span. That means this is a beam, hall size is 6 meter. Okay, the support thickness, that is the wall thickness, is 30 centimeter. From the center of the wall, 1 second. So from the center of the wall to the center of the wall here. So is the effective span. So the effective span LE is 6. That is a clear span. That is the internal dimension of the hall plus 2 times 0.3 divided by 2, where 0.3 is the thickness of the support or the thickness of the wall. Okay. So finally, after doing calculation, we got the effective span equal to 6.3 meter. And also, what is the live load acting? 2 kilonewton per meter square. And floor finish, the problem has given that floor finish equal to 1 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. So what is not included yet is the self weight of the slab and also the self weight of the beam. Self weight of the beam we cannot find out unless we know the section details. Here we don't have it. So let us see what we can do for the self weight. Here in this problem, during calculation of the load, what we have done is self weight of beam equal to 0.5 kilonewton per meter. Okay, within brackets, I have said it as assume. Okay, even if you want, you can assume even 1 kilonewton per meter, it's not a problem. You don't have to go back and revise the section. Okay, so self weight of the beam is already taken here. So then imposed load is 2 kilonewton per meter square. That is, live load is 2 kilonewton per meter square. So what it means is, if you consider 1 meter area, so the load on this area is 2 kilonewton. So if we consider 1 kilometer area, 1 second. Again, if we consider one more and half of the area, then we are going to get the width like this. Okay, what is the width? 3.5 meter. So it is per meter, per meter square, it is 2 kilonewton. So if you multiply that 2 kilonewton by the width, okay, we are going to get 7 kilonewton load per meter length along this span. That means if you draw a beam like this with 2 supports, okay, with 2 supports, and this beam is subjected to a load of 7 kilonewton per meter. So self weight of the beam assumes 0.5 kilonewton per meter. Then self weight of the floor slab, that is the thickness of the floor slab is 0.12. Okay, multiplied by 3.5. Okay, that will give you the area of cross section of width 3.5 meter slab multiplied by the unit weight of RCC, which is 25 kilonewton per meter cube, will give you the load due to the self weight of the slab, which is equal to 10.5 kilonewton per meter. Okay, then what is the floor finish? So that is given in the problem, that is 1 kilonewton per meter square. That is a floor finish. So total width is 3.5 meter. So if you multiply this by 3.5 meter, so it is going to be like this. Okay, so 1 is the load per meter square. Okay, 3.5 meter is the width of the slab, and whatever load coming on this area is going to be going to the beam. So 3.5 meter, that is equal to 3.5 kilonewton per meter. Look at the unit. So unit is always kilonewton meter. If you add those numbers, so total service load W equal to 21.50 kilonewton. Then what is the factor load or the design load? That is W that is equal to 1.5 times whatever the calculation we have done here. So this is the design load, which is 32.25 kilonewton per meter. So once we have this, so go ahead and find out what is the design bending moment. Okay, that is M max equal to design load coming out the beam multiplied by the effective span square divided by 8. That is WL square by 8 formula. So what is the maximum moment? That is 160 kilonewton meter is the maximum moment, or the design moment caused due to the design load coming on that particular beam. And we have to design to take care of 160 kilonewton meter moment. Okay. So the first step is we need to calculate what is the section required. We have to pick up a section, is it not? So that can be picked up by making use of this formula and by assuming the section is plastic or compact. Okay. So take this formula given in page number 53 of the code book. Assume beta B equal to 1. That means assume that the section is plastic or compact. Okay. Find out what is ZP required. So call this as ZP required equal to, in place of MD, we are going to put Mmax value, that is the maximum bending moment caused due to the design load. So what is ZP required? That is 704 multiplied by 10 cube millimeter to the power of cube. That is nothing but 704 centimeter cube. That is the section modulus required. Okay. Next, let us pick up an ISMB section here also, just like the way we did in the previous example. Here also, let us pick up an ISMB to take care of the section modulus of magnitude 704 centimeter cube, which is coming due to the external design load. Okay. So go to page number 138 of the code book. If you go to page number 138 of the code book, so come to the rightmost columns. From the rightmost column, you look at the third, now you look at the second one, second column, it says plastic modulus ZPZ. Okay, here what is ZP required? That is 704 cm cube, and look for an ISMB section. ISMB section whose ZP value or ZPZ value is greater than or at least equal to ZP required. Okay, so I went there, I went to 350, again left column, if you go sixth item from the bottom, sixth line from the bottom, so we got the value of ZPZ equal to 889.57 centimeter cube. Is it not? So what instead, you can go one step further, you can check ISMB 300. ISMB 300 is 651.74. That is not enough. Okay. 1 second. Hello, Darshan. What is the problem?
Sir, sorry, sir.
Mute. Okay, coming to this. So if you go with ISMB 300, so you are going to get ZPZ value equal to 651.74, which is less than 704 cm cube. You need at least 704 cm cube. So the next higher section is ISMB 350, whose ZPZ value equal to 889.57 centimeter cube. Okay, so let us pick this section, ZPZ equal to 889.57 centimeter cube. So once that is picked, we need to find out what is the design moment capacity of that selected section ISMB 350. Okay, we have two formulas depending on whether the section is subjected to high shear or low shear. So before doing those calculations, the first thing we are going to do is section properties and its classification. So these are the section properties. Some of the section properties I got from the code book on page number 138, and the remaining missing section properties I got from the steel table for ISMB 350. So these are the section properties I have written. Okay, after writing all the properties, go with the classification. Classification is, we are going to check whether the section is compact, plastic, compact, or semi-compact. So, find out what is B divided by TF. What is B? B is half the width of the flange. So total width of the flange for ISMB 350 is 140 millimeter. If you look at the steel table, you are going to get it, or else you can get the same value from the code book on page 138. So half of it was 70 divided by the thickness of the flange, which is 14.2 millimeter. Which is 14.2 millimeter. So the value we got is 4.93. Again, compare this value from the table to check whether the flange is plastic, compact, or semi-compact. So by comparing that value, so the flange section is plastic. Now check whether the web is plastic or not. So that is D divided by TW. So what is D value? Look here. This is D value. 293.6 is D by T value. TW value. Okay. 1 second, please. So D by TW is equal to 36.25, which is less than 84 epsilon, that is 84. So the web is also plastic. So where did we get all these values from? So page number 18 and table 2. I told you already how to pick the values, how to compare the values. So because these two, that is the flange is plastic and the web is plastic, then the whole section is plastic. That means it is a class 1 section or a plastic section. Okay. We are going to make use of this condition in the next calculation. Next, we are going to check for shear. As I said, this is the only place wherein, that means only in case of laterally supported beam, we are going to check for shear first before you check for bending moment. Because we are going to make use of that shear value we calculated here under bending moment. So what is the design shear force V max? That is equal to WULE divided by 2. So that is V max is 101.5 kilonewton. That is due to the design load coming on the beam. Okay, then what is the design shear capacity of the section we have selected? That is VD equal to Vn divided by gamma MO as given in under 8.4 and 8.41 on page 59 of the code book. So for Vn, this is Vn. AB is nothing but the shear area. Fy by root 3 is the design shear stress of the steel material. So what is AB? AB is the thickness of the web here and the total depth. So this is going to be the shear area. This is going to be the shear area. Okay, that is AB value. So look here. So AB is 350, that is the overall depth, multiplied by 8.1, that is the web thickness. So this gives the web area, and Fy is 250 by root 3, and gamma MO is 1.10. Convert that value into kilonewton by dividing by 1000. So VD is the design capacity of this section. Okay, so this is greater than 101.59 kilonewton. That is the maximum shear force to which, maximum design shear force to which the section is subjected to under external load. And 372 kilonewton is the capacity of this section. So capacity is greater than the shear force to which it is subjected. Obviously, the section is safe or adequate against any shear failure. Okay, so this condition is satisfied. Shear check is done. Next, we are going to go and check for bending moment. So again, we have two equations. One equation for bending moment on page number 53, that is equal to MD equal to beta B ZP Fy divided by gamma MO. And there is another set of formulas on page 70. Okay, and we are going to use only that single formula MD equal to ZP beta ZP Fy divided by gamma MO only in case of low shear, and a set of formulas on page 70 only if the beam is subjected to high shear. That is only in the case of high shear. So let us find out whether it is going to be subjected to a high shear or low shear. So there is another condition we need to check, D by TW. That is 36.25, that is less than 67 epsilon. So where did we get this condition? Again on page 53, first column. So go to the second paragraph. Okay. So before we make use of this formula, so two conditions should be satisfied. One is this condition and the other is the condition of low shear. So 0.67 times VD, where VD is 372 kilonewton, that is equal to 223.20 kilonewton. So that is greater than Vmax value. So it is a case of low shear. So this D by TW is less than 67 epsilon and 0.6 VD is greater than 10.59. That means, again, it's a case of low shear. So if it is the case of low shear, then we can go ahead and make use of this formula to find out the moment capacity or bending moment capacity of the section, MD value. So beta B equal to 1 because the section is plastic. So that's what it says, beta B equal to 1 for plastic and compact sections. Okay, according to the code. Next, find out what is beta B ZP Fy divided by gamma MO. So we got the value equal to 202.175 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeter. Convert that value into kilonewton meter. So that is equal to 202.175 kilonewton meter. And this should be less than 1.2 ZeFy divided by gamma MO as per the codal recommendation. So find out that. So we got 212.43. So obviously this value beta B ZP Fy gamma MO is less than 1.2 ZeFy divided by gamma MO. Okay, so the section is safe against bending. Okay, so what 1.2 ZeFy divided by gamma MO is, say, 190 kilonewton meter. This, say for example, for a moment, assume 190 kilonewton meter. This is 202.175. So take 190 kilonewton meter as the MD value. That means take lesser of these two values as the MD value, that is the moment carrying capacity of the section. Okay, so in this case, MD value equal to 202.175 kilonewton. So which is greater than 160 kilonewton meter. This is the bending moment we got due to the external load coming on the beam. So this is the capacity of this section. Capacity is greater than the load coming, design load coming on the section. So obviously the section is adequate to take care of bending moment. Is it clear to you? Next. The next step is check for deflection. So whenever we check for deflection, the first thing is we need to consider the service load only. Okay. So what is the service load? Design load is WU, that is 32.25 kilonewton per meter. So multiply that value by the load factor, which is equal to 1.5 as per the codal recommendation. So finally we got the value of W equal to 21.50 kilonewton meter. That is the service load. Service is nothing but the actual load it is going to be subjected to. Actual maximum load it is going to, the beam is going to be subjected to in reality. So if you convert this value into Newton millimeter, numerically it remains the same, 21.50 Newton per millimeter. So we have the formula, delta actual equal to 5 by 384 W L to the power of 4 by EI. So we are substituting all the values in terms of Newton and millimeter in this deflection equation. So W is 21.50 Newton per millimeter. L is the effective span, which is 6.3 meter. That is nothing but 6,300 millimeter. Then what is E? 2 multiplied by 10 to the power of 5. I is the moment of inertia of the section we have selected. So this I is nothing but IZZ, remember. Okay, so substitute the values and get the actual deflection of the beam under the service load, which is 16.18. Then what is the limiting or allowable deflection? Again, go to table 6 on page 31. Go to that page. I explained this already in the previous class. I hope you are on page 31. Okay, if you go to the left column in the table, you see industrial buildings and other buildings. So not industrial buildings, you go for other buildings. Okay, under that other buildings, there are two kinds of deflections. One is lateral deflection and the vertical deflection. We go for vertical deflection. So under live load, it says floor and roof and cantilever. Ours is not the case of cantilever. Ours is the case of this one, simply supported beam. Okay, elements susceptible to cracking and not susceptible to cracking. Here I have taken the elements not susceptible to cracking. So the limiting deflection is equal to span divided by 300. Okay, span divided by 300. What is the effective span here? It is not 6 meter. 6 meter is a clear span. So the effective span is 6.3 meter, which is nothing but 6,300 millimeter is the effective span divided by 300. So allowable deflection is 21 millimeter, but the actual deflection is how much? Actual deflection is 16.18 millimeter. So the allowable deflection is less than the actual deflection. So even the deflection condition is satisfied. Okay, so this completes three main steps or three main checks: shear, bending, and the deflection. So the next two steps are check for web buckling, and the other one is check for web crippling. Okay, so I'm going to take this up in tomorrow's class. It's already, the time is up. Okay, guys. So let me end the class. See you tomorrow.